This podcast is part of the Big Heads Media Podcast Network. For more great podcasts, head over to bigheadsmedia.com.
Previously on TV Tuners.
Daddy's got a new whip. Now get your sweet ass in here and let's ride.
Go grab my belt.
Stairmaster, I'm cyber augmented now.
I'm George Washington?
Can a rock really change a family's fortune?
The fugitives have escaped.
And now, TV Tuners continues.
Hi there, folks, and welcome to TV Tuners. It's a television podcast for the true fanatics. It's a weekly dive in the latest in TV news and reviews. I'm your host, Swanson. With me, as always, is my co-host and weird guy who sounds like a maniac, Stairmaster.
I'm trying to link Garfield to Jesus.
Thank you.
I've made my way through the Old Testament.
I'll just be honest, I wanted to hear you do a Jason Mantzoukas impression.
It was not a very good one.
But you...
Also, I didn't actually try to do an impression.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that was Jason Mantzoukas either.
Really? I feel like his voice is pretty distinctive, but that might just be because of me.
Yeah, now that you said that, everything clicked into place, but... Also, I thought you were going to make me the wife.
No. And with us, as always, is our other co-host and British orphan, Keo Rain.
Hello.
Oi!
I'm Keo. Hello. Are you my dad, please?
Sure, if you can, make a quilt.
Look, it's me, lad. Spood. From the East End.
Yeah, we're British. We're like, what's his face? What's that guy's name? The little guy? Oliver something?
Oliver Stone.
Humperdinck.
Oliver Stone, director of JFK.
And the director of Malcolm X.
No, not
Really?
Oliver Stone. Oliver Stone is that guy who's Donald Trump's friend. It was like something else.
Is he?
No, Spike Lee is the director of Malcolm X. He's the director of the Bush one.
Do you think it's going to end for you, Keo, like it did Malcolm X?
I was thinking of Oliver Twist.
He's gonna be killed by the government.
I think he's going to be shot while giving a speech, specifically.
Roger Stone's the guy I was thinking of.
At our first live show, Keo Rain is...
Yeah, someone will just run up to the podium, and Keo will just smirk at him when he sees the shot.
And as everyone knows, when you do a live podcast recording, it is just at a singular podium.
Yeah, we're fighting over the podium, trying to get our quips in.
Yeah, that's why our security guys are distracted and don't notice the Nation of Islam dude. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's gonna be the Nation of Islam that kills Keo, just like Malcolm X.
That tracks, given his tweet history.
Mm.
Wait, what have I tweeted?
Oh, you know what you've done. Were you affected by the blue checkmark hacking?
Yeah. So let me ask you guys a quick question here.
Ooh.
So have you heard of a cryptocurrency known as Bitcoin?
Ooh.
If you send me $2,000 cash, I will send you back $4,000 in Bitcoin.
Ooh, sounds like a deal.
Sounds like some sort of cash doubling program.
Yeah, it sounds like I put my cash somewhere and it doubles.
Yeah, it's almost like this is beyond parody.
Yeah, interesting.
I heard that 183 people fell for it.
At least.
Yeah, that's only reported cases. There's probably 10 million people who fell for it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
The cases would be lower. The cases would be lower if they just didn't report them, though.
I wonder if they'll ever find the guy who did it.
No.
That would be a really good episode of Unsolved Mysteries.
Update. We found the Bitcoin hacker. 13-year-old... 13-year-old Alex Jackson
13-year-old.
of Missouri, California.
He is currently on the run. He was last spotted in an airport in Odessa, Ukraine.
Anyway, welcome to TV Tuners, home of great bits. Like that one. And if you like what you're hearing so far, why not consider subscribing? We're available on all of the podcatchers of your choice. Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, and more. I keep saying Google Play. It's Google Podcasts. Anyway, we're available on all of those podcatchers and more. Your personal favorite? We're on there. Just search TV Tuners. You'll find us. And you can give us a subscribe. I don't trust you
on that, actually.
Well, go look it up.
You can give us a suck.
Well, let me look it up.
All right, do it.
Oh, it is on there.
Wow, you're such a novice.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm the TV novice here.
That is what we call Kieran around the offices. Yeah, it's.
And then we throw things at him.
If you like what you're hearing, give us a subscribe. Maybe 5 stars would be appreciated. We would like. And we're also on.
Daddy likey.
What's this voice you're doing, Swanson?
Huh? I don't know what you mean.
I think you should stop.
We're also available on Twitter
on the internet
at TV Tuners, or you can use the hashtag TV Tuners, and we'll give a glance. There's nothing but great TV content there, curated by our excellent intern,
Miguel.
Yes, which I'm sure is how you actually pronounce his name. I don't know because Stairmaster has only told me how to pronounce his name. So
yeah, I thought the intern was named Michelle.
No.
Yeah.
The intern is definitely not female.
Stairmaster.
How do you know
Stairmaster
this?
told me that we couldn't and I wasn't sure what he meant by that.
You just can't. Anyways, is there a more personal way to get in touch with us?
Well, yeah, of course. We have an email address.
Ooh.
You can send us an email, any of your quips, comments, questions, foresights, or otherwise, at tvtunerspodcast@gmail.com. What's that email, Keelrain?
There's an email on TV Tuners. That's where people can send us messages on there.
Yes.
And we'll read them aloud on the air and alive on the air.
That's right.
And yeah, that is an email address. So what else is on the agenda for today, Swanson?
What's the email, Keo?
Hey, what's the email, Stairmaster?
The email is tvtunerspodcast@gmail.com.
That's right. That's right. And you can be like Pool Noodle Frank, who sent in this email. Better Call the Crow?
With Brandon Lee?
Hey, TVTs. I need professional TV advice for this professional TV question.
All right.
What is the thematic, metaphorical importance of the Bruce Lee versus Muhammad Ali discussion Mike witnesses in Better Call Saul? And why does Mike go with Ali? Is there something between Lee's swift, water-like strikes versus Ali's graceful, deliberate boxing that communicates the opposed forces of the Vietnam War? A war Mike is hinted towards being scarred by? If so, what does Mike picking Ali say about that? All right, Pool Noodle Frank.
Oh,
I don't think.
And actually, Bruce Lee did consider fighting Muhammad Ali, but he also said that Muhammad Ali would kill him.
Yeah,
but
no,
it's kind of like a classic cross-cultural thing.
I think.
I don't really think that the show is really too focused on Mike's hinted war history. I think it's probably just more of a metaphor for the way Mike likes to do business.
Yes,
that's right. Yeah, Mike as like a person would definitely see Muhammad Ali as a person who like is definitely the better fighter between him and Bruce Lee, because he probably watched way more boxing than he did kung fu movies.
It's more that Bruce Lee can't dish it out as hard as Muhammad Ali could.
Yeah,
like he had like a solid how many pounds on him? Like 30 or 40.
Also, if you want me to do the deep dive into this thing that they definitely didn't think that much about, I'll think too much about it and say that much like Muhammad Ali, Mike in his later years now is starting to wear down as a person and in his health wise, and that's why he regards
you mean
Ali.
like most people.
a man who in his prime was one of the top and has fallen.
Mm.
Anyway,
Also,
Better Call the Crow.
that...
It should have been called Better Call the Dragon.
I was going to say that it also shows that Mike is not interested in these whimsical flights of fancy. He's right down to earth. He wants to say that the bigger man will win the fight, and that's it.
Yeah.
And that's why he's going to stick with the bigger man, Mr. Gus Fring.
The Muhammad Ali of chicken franchise drug dealers.
Yes, notice 6'3" King, Gus Fring.
Anyway, thanks, Frank, for that email, and I hope you enjoyed our answers.
I hope you don't drown.
And if you want to be like Frank, why not send an email? Post haste. We're waiting. And with that out of the way,
I'm out of here.
Let's get to our tweet of the week, huh?
Oh, all right. So this tweet of the week comes from user at Richard Droyster talking about the TV show we watched this week. Close enough.
So before we read this, do we want to talk about the picture or the text first?
Let's do the text first.
Talk about the picture.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking text first.
All right. This scaly dog will hashtag vote for Biden, hashtag dogs for Biden, hashtag close enough, hashtags lizards for Bidens, hashtag beardies for Bidens, hashtag dogs for Biden, hashtag everyone for Biden.
So let's be clear here. The text starts saying, this scaly dog. So it's talking about a dog, right?
Well, what's this picture, Kieran?
All right, so there is some kind of reptile here on the screen.
It looks like a cactus, sort of, texture-wise. Or a pineapple.
Yeah, it's a cactus lizard.
It's a very prickly lizard. And it's in some kind of enclosure. It's clearly somebody's pet.
Mm-hmm. So,
does this person think that all pets are dogs?
More importantly, does he think that dogs can vote?
I don't know. Some lizards seem to act like dogs. They'll be very friendly and love to be petted.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Maybe this lizard is like a dog.
That's like the hallmark of good pets, though, is they're friendly and they like to be petted.
I guess cats are dogs then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like. Also,
Swanson,
why is the hashtag close enough here?
Because I guess this person doesn't believe that lizards are dogs. Dorks.
So what you're saying is that the lizard is close enough to a dog.
My thought was, you can see a cartoon playing in the glare from the glass. Is that it doesn't look like close enough, but maybe it is.
It's actually End of Evangelion.
Oh wow!
The opening scene with Shinji in the hospital jerking off.
I thought that was just like a glare of the window.
Well,
no, there's definitely a cartoon you can see in there if you look. Unless the owner is a cartoon.
Maybe
Alright, so I'm deeply mystified by this. And
I think it's a good dog.
It is a good dog.
I think it's well, I mean, Swanson, you brought up a good point. Can this creature actually vote?
I think not. I don't think it's allowed out of its glass structure to go to the polling place, which is both an indictment of our polling system and an indictment of the dog itself.
Well, we have mail-in ballots, though.
Oh, those aren't constitutional.
Yeah.
So they won't be.
Which we can use for voter fraud by having our pets vote, apparently.
Yeah,
here we go.
I'm sure that'll be something that someone will say at some point.
So yeah, great tweet. Tune in on this tweet.
Oh, I'm going to tune out because of all the Biden content.
I'm going to have to tune out on this, not for the Biden content necessarily, so much as this dog will neither help nor hinder the 2020 election.
Yeah.
You know what? Fair.
Yeah, just eat your mealworms or whatever's in that bowl, dog.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are worms for sure.
Also,
describe the worms to me, Keo.
Don't. But also that this dog won't care what happens. The dog will just keep being a dog.
Yes. Dog.
And truly a blessed life.
Subscribe to our Patreon where I describe worms to Stairmaster.
Yeah, as he goes to sleep at night.
Wow, we could make $200 a month off of that.
Listen, if they want it, they'll tell us. And we'll give it to them.
Mm-hmm.
All right. With that out of the way, let's get to... what'd you watch this week, guys? Anything interesting? Anything fun?
Well, I watched 2 things.
Ooh.
One of them, of course, is Unsolved Mysteries with Robert Stack.
Ooh, old school.
Yes.
You had a hankering for like the old school version after the new school left you high and dry.
Yes, it's so much better. Robert Stack just lends so much gravitas to this.
And how much time do they focus on the grieving wife?
Not that much. Usually there's this more crime scene reenactments, which I don't think there really was much of in the new one.
In the episode we watched, there was barely any.
All they did was show a rooftop and then drew an arrow.
Yeah, but no, people will be getting shot. People will be walking in and seeing their girlfriend worshiping Satan.
As you do.
All the classics. Yeah, the only part I don't like about it is whenever there's a ghost story.
That's spooky? Too spooky?
Yes, that's where Stair draws the line. He can believe when like this random guy like learned about a child trafficking ring and got thrown into a building or whatever.
I'm just saying it might have been child trafficking. It could have just been money crimes.
Or it could just be that the guy was schizophrenic and he thought he was joining the Freemasons. But I digress.
You always go to the schizophrenic answer, Kieran. It's like you believe in mental health.
I wonder if Keo's in on this guy's murder.
Look, I'm just saying that I have no comment, and you can address your answers to my lawyer.
Oh, I don't want to talk to that guy anymore, not after last week.
Yeah, and I don't think you should either.
Yeah, I don't know.
Friends of Kieran told him that his lawyer was unsafe.
Did I say
erratic and violent
to my lawyer? I meant questions. Address your questions to my lawyer.
Well, I guess I'm not going to be addressing anything to him, so...
Anyways, also, watching this in 2020, you feel like Nizetch's man at the end of history because almost every case has an update where they solved it.
Nizetch's?
But that ultimate... Nietzsche.
There you
go. Update. Yeah. Ghosts are, in fact, real.
No, not
and
yet.
And the ghost of Nietzsche is haunting Stairmaster as we speak.
I feel like... No, I think he would be chill in the afterlife.
Would you watch an anime about a kid who gets haunted by the ghost of Nietzsche?
I would not be surprised if that's already an anime.
I would watch the first 3 episodes and then drop it.
Yeah.
Yes. It is really sad, though, when there is no update. That's something like a kid got dumped in front of a moving train.
Yikes.
Update.
Or some priest got murdered.
Update. We still have no clue.
Now, would you say at this point that Unsolved Mysteries has solved more cases than actual police?
Probably.
All right.
I think their solve rate is better than most police departments. The clearance rate is probably like something like 75%. Just pulling it out of my ass.
So that's a tune in.
So far, at least. Tune in. And the other show I'm watching is Gundam Wing.
Oh, finally a Gundam I care about.
Yeah. Swanson likes that one because one of the Gundam pilots is misogynist.
That's right, and not because it was the only one that was on Toonami when I was a kid.
Not true. G Gundam was also there.
Oh yeah, okay. One of the 2 Gundams that I care about.
Does G Gundam actually count though?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's non-canon, right?
That's in an alternate universe.
Yeah, so non-canon.
Just like Gundam Wing.
Oh, Gundam Wing's not...
So Gundam Wing is...
Oh, interesting.
No, Gundam Wing is not part of the Universal Century.
So two best ones.
G Gundam is...
Well, I mean, also Turna Gundam, which is considered the best Gundam, is also in an alternate universe, so yes, you're right.
Yeah, I'm just saying G Gundam is like the weirdest, oddballest Gundam there is, I think.
Yeah.
Probably, I think, yeah. Victory Gundam, which is canon, might be out there, but that's because the guy was having a nervous breakdown when he was miking that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
There's like an episode where these women try to blow up the Gundam by coming at it in bikinis with bazookas, and he like murders one of them with his beam saber.
Yikes.
It vaporizes an entire woman.
Yeah, that sounds bad.
Yeah.
So how's Gundam Wing?
Victory Gundam is... Oh, Gundam Wing's great. There's 5 Gundams this time.
Ooh.
Yeah. and everyone's completely insane. This lady falls in love with a guy just because he said he was going to kill her for finding out he's a secret Gundam pilot.
Yeah.
And and all the red shirt mobile suits just explode if the Gundam looks at them. It's awesome.
I just remember Gundam Wing being pretty cool.
Yeah. It's an easy sell. You don't need much to get involved.
All right. I also watched 2 things this week.
Oh, me too.
Oh, wow. Packed week. So, Stairmaster, you watched the old Unsolved Mysteries. I watched the new Unsolved Mysteries. I'm here with an update, as you would say.
Oh, about the skull?
So I watched 5 of the 6 new episodes of this Unsolved Mysteries season. So obviously, we talked about the first one pretty in depth. Episode 2 was actually the tweet of the week last week about Rob killing Patrice. It was kind of boring though. There was no skull kiss on scene, but he did open the bag of her ashes that he had. So there's that.
Wait, so where did the skull kiss come into play?
At her funeral, after they dug up after they found her remains, they had a funeral for the remaining bones that were left, and he kissed her skull at the funeral.
Yikes.
Yeah, so that was... Also, her son is named Pistol Black, which is the best part of the episode.
Yeah, that sounds like a Gundam character.
The third episode is actually an interesting foe. It's about a patriarch who kills his entire family and then supposedly disappears in the desert.
Family Annihilation, always a classic.
See,
I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't recap old Unsolved Mysteries because they got like 4 mysteries per episode.
Yeah, that's the problem. I think that's my major problem is that most of these don't need to be an entire 50+ minute episode.
Yeah, so they fill in the time having the wife sit there and cry for us.
Yeah, I think the reason this third episode works is because literally all of the family is dead. So all you get is people talking, like friends and news and journalists being like, we tried to figure out where this guy went. We have no clue.
Wait, so you're saying that he killed his family and then crossed the desert?
Yeah, kind of. So he was losing a bunch of money, I guess, and he didn't want his family to know. So I guess his decision was to just murder them. And then he put them in the little crawl space under their patio.
Oh my god! But they weren't skeletons at that point.
Well, when they found them, they were because he made it seem like they left. He sent a letter saying that him and his wife were working for the CIA and they had to leave for America.
God. Wow.
I'm sorry I'm spoiling this. It was a really fun episode.
And is the unsolved part they don't know where he went? Yeah,
they don't know what happened.
Yes.
He just went. They see there's camera footage of him in various places after the murders take place, and then there's final footage of him looking directly at the camera and waving goodbye, with a gun, with his gun in his sack, and he goes out into the desert, presumably to kill himself. But they hypothesized that he might have just. It was like a port town, so they hypothesized that he might have just gotten out. So the fourth one is sort of a standard murder mystery, but it involves hate crimes, so slightly more depressing. Basically, all of these white guys take their black friend to a party in a racist town, and then are surprised when he gets left by himself and dies.
So it's like Green Room, sort of.
Yeah, only the good guys don't win.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Or did you mean Green Book?
I meant Green Room.
Okay, I was just making sure. Because the good guys don't win in Green Book either.
They don't?
I don't know. I never watched Green Book.
I thought he managed to drive him around. I thought that car got where it was going.
I mean, yeah, it did, I guess. And the guy was slightly less racist, so I guess it's a win for centrism. Anyway, the fifth one is interesting because it's an alien abduction story. And it's also only 35 minutes long. So that's fun.
So is it like a somebody got abducted and had to play video games for an alien?
It's more like there are
No.
like 3 or 4 people who all have similar like weird experiences on the same time.
Oh,
at
yeah.
The same...
I literally watched an episode from the old one about that last night as well.
Yeah, there's one like that with this, and it's pretty entertaining, pretty good stuff. They do a lot of recreations in that one, which they don't really do in any of the others. So, but yeah, I haven't watched the 6th one yet, so I guess I'll keep you updated. But I would say it's more miss than hit.
Yes.
At this rate, it's a 2 out of 3 on the hits to miss ratio right now. So I might have to rescind my tune in on that.
Ooh.
And
now,
speaking of once great things, 30 Rock.
Ooh.
Recently, as in yesterday, 30 Rock came back for a one-time special, similar to that Parks and Rec one I talked about.
Wait, let me stop you right there.
Yeah.
Yes.
What is 30 Rock?
Oh yeah, you're a TV novice, Kieran, so I'll explain. That's that show with Tina Fey and Alec Baldwin, and Alec Baldwin's always like, "God damn it."
Microchips.
Yeah. Also, Tracy Morgan's there.
Yeah, Nameson is there, yeah.
All right. Anyway, the show...
I love Nameson and Death Stranding.
It's like the Parks and Rec show, only an hour long, so a little dicier. And also, it's an entire advertisement for Peacock. So I went into it with the least of expectations and was pleasantly surprised. Mainly because the show was... quote-unquote commercial-free because the commercials were just the ones for Peacock. Evidently, this caused, which we'll get into in the news, this caused some backlash with local affiliates, but who cares about them?
Oh.
But yeah, the 30 Rock parts were great. I skipped the other parts. The 30 Rock stuff was fun. I don't know if it was necessary, I guess, but like it feels different, right? Like the Parks and Rec one was like in April, and it was like, we'll give you a little something uplifting for the pandemic. Back when we thought it would be like over before now. And this is more like, we need like to sell this streaming service to you, so we'll put it in like a nice little meta packaging for you. And I guess they do the best with what they can with that, so good on them. 30 Rock had always done this kind of thing, so it makes a sort of sense, but...
What's 30 Rock about?
Liz Lemon, played by Tina Fey, runs like a SNL-style show with Tracy Morgan as the star, and Alec Baldwin is the head of NBC.
You can tell Stare what it is, but not me.
I told you what it was. I just used names.
No, you just said who the cast was.
I told you who it was. I told you who was in it, Keo. You should know.
That's like saying Collateral's a movie with Jamie Foxx and Tom Cruise.
That's how you explain Collateral
Jason
to us.
Tatum. Yeah, it is.
Look, those names are not in my notes. I did not study up on those, so I have no clue who they are.
I'm surprised you don't know who Alec Baldwin is. He's sort of all over the place and like big.
I've heard his name, and if I Google him, I might know, but...
Alec Baldwin was the narrator on the 5th through, 7th season of Thomas the Tank Engine in America.
Okay, well, I wouldn't recognize him by his voice.
He played Mr. Conductor in Thomas and the Magic Railroad.
Thomas, you big fat bitch.
So, is Alec Baldwin the guy who is known nowadays for doing a Trump...
That's right. Yes, I should have led with that, but I blocked that from my memory.
Yes.
Yeah, he's the Trump on SNL.
Okay, now
Didn't
I
he
understand.
steal that from wasn't there another guy already doing Trump impersonations on SNL who was way better at it?
Yeah,
didn't
Daryl
have the star
Hammond,
power, so
who still works for
rest in
SNL,
peace.
and they were just like, no,
Yeah,
you
but-
don't do Donald Trump anymore.
it's still unfair.
Yeah. And now, instead of just getting their cast to play anybody of note in the Trump administration, they just hire, Ben Stiller to come in, or, Owen Wilson, or whoever's in New York at the time.
Danny DeVito.
They'll be like, oh, this next season, they'll be like, oh, Fauci can be played by Matt Damon.
Mhm.
And then Matt Damon will just come in and not even pretend to do an imitation of the man and just use his own voice.
He'd just
Or
come
Matt
in and just be
Damon.
like, yeah, there's a virus going around. Be careful out there, folks.
What did you watch, Keo?
So I watched two programs. One of them's not a TV show at all.
Oh,
So
Okay.
be careful. I watched Half-Life, but the AI is self-aware.
Whoa. That thing
Nice.
Stairmaster liked.
Swanson, I'm thirsty.
Feed me spices, Mr. Freeman.
Swanson. So we've been doing the podcast for a while, and we need to know where's your passport?
Yeah.
Oh, it's in a secret location. You don't need to worry about it now.
No, actually, we need the passport.
Listen, everyone here is afraid of you.
As they should
We
be.
need the passport to know if you're nice or not.
Why would the passport let
yeah,
you know
so-
if I'm nice?
It says on it nice or mean.
Does it? I need to update my passport.
Yeah, it's a fun little.
Yes.
It's like a live stream where they play this,
Well,
this modified version of Half-Life where it's VR, but they have people playing all the NPCs.
Oh no, that's just the AI.
Oh yeah, it's the AI. They actually programmed that, and they have these scientists who like break reality and are funny. There's a guard who really
A-cap.
he's like really not very friendly. He's obsessed with like passport.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, okay.
And there's another scientist who's different than the other ones. He's like he's kind of childish. I have soda for breakfast, Mr. Freeman.
It helps me see faster.
I'm sure someone's
And
Let's
loving
then,
quote the
this.
lines at Swanton.
and then of course, Gordon Freeman is our point of view character, and he's the straight man.
Yes.
He's taking this all very very seriously.
He's taking it very well and does not just have a breakdown like the first 40 minutes.
Okay, yeah. Sounds sort of like me right now.
Yeah, alright. So that's a tune in.
Yeah, it's a tune in if you like to watch somebody react very casually to reality falling apart in front of him
Yeah.
for a prolonged period of time.
Oh, I forgot to say, I would give it a light tune in for that 30 Rock special. Just skip all the Peacock stuff. I also forgot to mention that I watched it on Peacock.
Wow.
Peacock
Enterprising, Swanson.
Peacock has a free tier, which is one of probably the only things it's got going for it. So I'll if you guys give me a second here, I'll give you my views on Peacock.
Okay.
It was cluttered, kind of a mess. The UI doesn't really seem to work the way it should. I was told the web browser wouldn't let you play get things on the web, but it does do that, so that's good. It doesn't let you do HDMI though, so that's not good.
That's like incredibly stupid.
Yeah.
How does it... So it just it just knows that you're using HDMI.
Yeah.
And turns off if you try that.
It also doesn't. They also don't delineate. They also don't like separate free from the stuff that you have to pay for.
Oh, that sucks ass.
So you just sort of find something that you might be like, oh, I could want to watch that, and then they'd be like, pay for it.
Why are you going here for free?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
The only the nice thing is they have a lot of old like Universal films, so you can get like you can watch your like classic horror movies or like go watch like
King of Kong.
yeah, you can go watch like the Marx Brothers or something if you're or like
Or
Hitchcock.
Fast and Furious 5.
Yeah, classic film. But yeah, it's it looks decent, and the free tier is probably the thing that's going to keep it running for a little longer than some of the other ones. So
That will not be named.
yeah,
We'll talk about them in a bit, won't we?
yeah, we will. So yeah, Keo, what was your second one?
I finished season 1 of Hannibal.
Whoa!
Ooh.
Holy shit!
And I was like, wow, that was one hearty television meal. I think I'm done watching this program.
Wow, you didn't even get to the horse.
Meal is a good choice of words.
Yeah, you weren't a fan.
Appropriate.
I was entertained by it. I just don't know if I could deal
Stomach.
with any more of this.
You just gotta
Yeah.
take a break. Was it?
Gordon, I'm full.
Was it spoiler? Skip like 3 minutes ahead. Was it the part where Will spits out an ear?
Yeah, that was that
that
was a big oof.
I haven't even seen Hannibal, and I can already tell how horrible that would be.
Yeah, it's not just an ear either. It's like an ear of someone important to him.
Yes.
Oh.
That Hannibal put there. Well, actually, I don't know if you get that yet. Whoops.
No, it's pretty clear. Like he's like going real hard on framing him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like he doesn't even kill him. It's like
no, because he wants to be close to him. Don't you see? It's sort of a homosexual relationship between the two of them.
Yeah, I don't like where this story is going. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So okay, but seriously though, should I watch season 2?
Yes. If you liked season 1 enough, or even if it's better than season 1. I guess it depends.
Okay.
What's the part that has you uneasy about it, other than like the gore and stuff, or is that just the part that has you uneasy about it?
So I care about this man, Will. I don't want him to be like a bad man.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's not gonna do anything like. He's gonna do some things, but he's not gonna, do anything terrible.
He was a conspirator in the 9/11 attacks.
Yeah, that's revealed.
Okay, I'll think about it. I'll get back to you on that.
But yeah, if you're watching to be like, oh boy, I want to see Hannibal get got, season 2 will lead you down some paths in that direction.
Okay, I see you're trying real hard not to spoil it. So
yes.
Okay.
Has it been 3 minutes yet?
Probably.
I hope so.
So yeah.
For the sake.
Well, what would you give that, Kia?
I give it a tune-in.
Oh, okay.
It was entertaining. Probably 70% because of how horrifying it was, but 30% because it was genuinely intriguing.
Season 2 also introduces a villain who is worse than Hannibal, so that helps. Oh no! That helps the odds a little bit. So
Hannibal will fight Aizen Sosuke.
That's right. I don't think you want to know what Hannibal's Zanpakuto would be.
It'd probably be like that gas that turns you inside out on The Simpsons.
It's just a sword made of human flesh.
It is a sword that's made out of acid and it just digests you.
Ooh.
Yeah, probably. I mean, yeah, I don't really want to think about what his Zanpakuto would be.
It would probably be like that one stand in JoJo, the one with the rat with the sniper cannon that turned people into cubes of meat so it could eat them.
What, are you saying that Hannibal's not a nice
keeping
guy,
them alive?
Kyoran? You're not a big fan of Hannibal? You're not a friend? You're not friends with him? You wouldn't be buddies?
Look, I just think that if he had a Zanpakuto, he would like use it to abduct me and like keep me in his basement and like make me like made into more meat for him to like eat.
Yep.
Well, yeah, I mean, that is something he does do.
So yeah, no thanks.
Yeah. All right, well, let's move on to the news, huh?
Update.
It's Quibi!
Quibi!
That's right, we're back on with more quick bites of news.
Quibi has been found dead in an alley in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Oh, it wishes. Since launching in April, as anyone listening to this podcast knows, Quibi has struggled a little bit to
what
get an edge in the competition here, despite Connie's best efforts.
That's quibbling.
That good old Quibi. Mm-hmm. That kid's got a future ahead of him. I can feel it.
Yeah.
So this news can't be that bad. Why don't you take a glass
of water right before Swanson talks about Quibi's latest update?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it has a good future going for it since it spent most of its near $2 billion capital in the first year, and now it's got a new challenge, which is user retention. Was that you busted?
That's what it sounds like when I spit a drink out.
Oh, okay.
Out of surprise.
You would let us know if you busted, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if there does have a retention issue.
Oh, there we go. Analytics company Sensor Tower, which sounds ominous,
That's creepy.
detected a significant dip in subscriptions of Quibi after 3 months, which is the trial period. According to the company's reports, only 72,000 of Quibi's 910,000 day one users have continued their subscription.
What?
That was the spit take moment right there.
Yeah. Stare, you want to do it again? Oh, wrong. I meant spit take.
Sorry.
But
Well, the moment's ruined
I can't believe
now.
you. I can't
And
believe
gotta
you
clean
can
up.
nut on command.
It's incredibly painful.
That's for someone did the math for us, thankfully, and that's about an 8% conversion rate.
Ooh.
Woeful.
Yeah, that is. I think Quibi might be in trouble financially.
Now, that doesn't sound so bad when you compare it to other conversion rates, like Disney Plus's, which has 11%, but Disney Plus had 9.5 million users on its first day, and Quibi had not that. While Quibi itself hasn't given us the total number of subscribers, because why would they? They claim that more than 5.6 million have downloaded the app, which is a statistic that doesn't really mean anything, because you can download the app and not actually use it, or even deal with it.
How much does Quibi cost a month?
I think it's let's see, you got that trial there, and then I think it's $5 a month or something.
$5?
Yeah, I think so.
I think scale meant for the company.
Wow.
Running.
So I looked it up real quick here, and it's actually worse than I thought. I figured it was just a flat $5 a month. That seems fair. It is $5 a month with
rate?
ads, and then $8 a month without ads.
Okay, but seriously, if we're to take the $70,000 as the actual number, and not dollars, 70,000 members as the actual number, their revenue is going to be pathetic.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that claim of 5.6 million, according to Sensor Towers, is more on the side of 4.5.
Ooh.
And that, of course, is still people who only downloaded the app and not the people who went to the trial and then stayed after the trial.
Who knows how many of those people actually opened the app?
Yeah, exactly. So it looks like things aren't so great for Quibi. But hey, maybe the answer is more celebrity stuff. Put more celebrities on there.
Yeah, just pump even more money into it.
Yeah, that should be good, right? From one struggling streaming service to another, let's go to Peacock. We have two Peacock related items, so I'm gonna do this first one here. Peacock isn't available currently, or for the foreseeable future, it seems like, on Roku or Amazon Fire TV, which are the two most used ways of streaming on TVs.
Can I watch this on my Nintendo Wii?
No, I don't believe so.
Oh dear.
Oh, Swanson, can you explain why this is the case?
Well, Peacock, much like HBO Max, has suffered from from a sort of ongoing scuffle between media conglomerates and tech companies.
So
You love to see it. Two
see it.
things you hate fighting one another. It's like when you watch one bad guy fight the other bad guy in an anime.
Oh. Yeah.
You don't know who
Those
to
are
root
always
for.
hype.
So yeah, it seems like Apple, or rather Amazon, and the owners of Roku, who I certainly can't remember,
Yes.
seem to have. I think it's just Roku. I think their own thing. Anyway, they seem to have
I think
been.
it's Toei Animation.
They seem to be more assertive in their talks with new streaming services. Probably asking for more money or something. No one has a clear idea of what the deal is, but the two companies make up about 70% of all streaming devices. And they have about roughly 80 million active users.
That's not. I don't like either of those numbers.
Yeah. And it seems
Yeah,
like
Roku is owned by Roku Inc.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's interesting. I don't know who that is or what they do. I guess they make Roku.
They make Rokus and they look at them and they put them out there and they say, no, Peacock. No.
No. And Peacock's not the only one, of course. HBO Max is also suffering this problem. And it seems like it comes down to, according to what Roku is saying, Roku says that it wants to bring Peacock's large consumer base of avid streamers to it, but that Comcast has refused responsible and standard industry terms, which sounds like it's trying to lowball them on an offer.
Roku is just like, look what you made me do.
I believe that.
Roku
$500
gave out the final firing shot here, saying, "This shows a basic misunderstanding of what drives success in today's modern streaming world, where successful publishers collaborate on advertising and achieve strong results by leaning into the unique tools we offer." Amazon has declined to comment on this.
I wasn't aware that you couldn't just install things you wanted on your Roku device.
Yeah, evidently, some things are just not available on a Roku device, I guess. Which sounds like against the point of a Roku device, but hey, I'm not a manufacturer.
I thought you just had to pay one time for the Roku.
You do pay one time for it, but you have to pay for all the stuff that comes on it.
I guess Roku can act as a gatekeeper to, do like landlord renting schemes on the streaming services. Never mind.
Except the tenants are massive companies.
Yeah,
that's how they make so much money, Keo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that it was just like a device that you own and you could put what you want on it.
Nope.
But I guess it's heavily curated, like the Apple market and stuff like that.
Not heavily. It's just these two streaming services and I guess Quibi that haven't been able to make it onto these products. But Quibi was by design, which is stupider.
I mean, if I wanted to put an app on Roku, would I even be able to?
I don't think.
Yeah. What if they made a Roku with a screen on it, sort of like those PlayStations?
Oh yeah, that could be it.
Like a really small, unsatisfying screen.
Yes, 120p.
And if you're wondering if this might be like a competition thing, since Amazon has Amazon Prime and whatnot. Apple TV still is available. Peacock is still available on there. It's available on Chromecast, on Microsoft and Sony platforms. So it doesn't seem to have anything to do with necessarily any competition, although I guess it could. But that's not all. Peacock, is trying to hit the ground running here. They got some stuff coming that they're really excited for. And one of the things they might be interested in is Law and Order.
Dun dun!
They want to team up with Dick Wolf, the greatest creator in TV history.
You really savored that name, Swanson.
It's a great name. And it's the fact that he's like so prolific makes it even better. That to think right now as you're listening to this podcast, there is someone somewhere watching a show that at the end is going to say executive producer Dick Wolf.
Inside you are two wolves. Both of them are executive produced by Dick Wolf.
This is true. But Peacock is looking to strike a deal with Dick Wolf to land some of his shows that might not end up on NBC proper. Now, of course, all of the Chicago shows which Dick Wolf produces are all over mucking up NBC's primetime slots, and Law & Order SVU is still there. And recently announced the Law & Order organized crime spinoff with Detective Stabler. But
the Stabler.
But that's not all that Dick Wolf is looking to recreate. Dick Wolf wants to reboot one of his 90s cop shows called New York Undercover.
Oh.
Presumably it would be, this is the show that he wants the most, but what NBC wants the most is an SVU spinoff that we've talked about previously called Law & Order Hate Crimes.
Why do we want this? Why?
Oh, what are you talking about? You know how SVU is all about this person was raped and it was terrible. Now imagine if it was this person.
Yeah, I didn't want that.
This person had race-related. This person had a race-related crime committed against them, and it was horrible.
They wrote the N-word on their front door.
You know, now that I think about it, I guess it's like it's not any worse than SVU, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, I mean, that's true.
I guess this is a perfect time, except for the fact all these hate crimes are being committed by the police.
Yeah, that's like the thing, is like, is hate crime going to just be one of them being like, are we doing these today? Or is it going to be like...
It's going to be Ice-T covering up a lynching.
Yeah, like how about Law and
like...
Order internal investigation, like internal affairs?
Law and Order The Departed.
Imagine Ice-T gets arrested for hate crimes.
Like Law and Order Citizens Oversight Agency.
Every single character from Law and Order gets arrested.
They would, probably, including Stabler, who I think left SVU because he went too far on a case.
He raped the rapist.
But yeah, so as we talked about back in March, last March rather, NBC canned the idea of the Law and Order hate crimes after giving it a 13-episode order for obvious reasons. But apparently what they really wanted was just to give it a little more time to cook. A little more time for this to stew in that little kitchen there.
They're waiting for the pressure cooker that is our nation to heat up further.
Yeah. And it seems like they're...
And it's explode like it's at the Boston Marathon.
Oh, boy. and it seems like they might be getting their wish. SVU showrunner Warren Leight has since admitted that hate crimes would be a better fit for a streaming service. And here's his exact quote on this. The language that people use when they commit hate crimes is not acceptable for network television.
Oh, really? Word.
So, just to make sure we're clear here, what they are thinking about is that they want a show where you're watching hate crimes happen every week, but also you're hearing the racial slurs get freely tossed around.
So what you're saying is this show is dedicated to realism, and we want to be able to hear them slurs getting slung all around the entire episode.
That's right.
So we know that the bad guys are bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But the problem, of course, would be that like half the police on this show would be like, what's the problem?
Yeah.
They'd be like, I don't see the problem here.
They'd just be like, haha, classic.
How about this? Picture this. Episode of Law and Order where the judge gets arrested.
Oh. Yeah. I'm liking this. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and say that I don't want this. And I'm going to be sad when we have to watch it on the pod.
I'm going to be sad when Stair starts quoting the show.
Oh, I already
slurs.
do that.
Yeah, he's going to be one of the writers.
He's already on the writing staff. He's just
inspired by true events. And there's a photograph of our DMs. of me sending you that one offensive Pokemon.
They immediately DM'd Stairmaster and said, "We need you. You're our guy for this."
Oh my god, I wish I had a TV writing job.
Just imagine we're watching the show for the podcast, and at the end of the episode, it just says executive producer Stairmaster.
Doesn't even use his real name.
Yeah, it's his pen name.
No, Stair would only get the job because they want him to exclusively write the lines where they're saying hate speech.
I'm the only one who can type it out.
Yeah, you just have such a way with it that they feel like you can do it.
They're just like, I can't do it!
But he can!
When we write it, it just comes out so unnatural, so unrealistic. But when Stairmaster is at the helm...
It's like he really believes it!
He's like an auteur of hate crimes.
And then it turns out I've been committing hate crimes to get ideas for episodes.
Oh, it's like an end of the wire situation.
And you get canceled on Twitter.
Yeah. But that's all that happens. You still made a ton of money off of the show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's go to another one that's having problems. HBO Max.
All of them?
Yeah, it has all the HBOs. HBO Max has been had a troubling launch, probably due to not being on Roku or Amazon Fire.
Again?
Yeah, I said it wasn't on the when we were talking about it.
Yeah, I forgot. I was so focused on thinking about the peacocks. They're so pretty.
They are.
What were they thinking inventing this animal? It's too pretty.
You would think.
What was God up to? Hey, do you think God was smoking weed when he made the peacock, man?
Yeah, bro. He was totally on that reefer, man.
Well, as a Christian, I'm deeply offended.
Oh.
Swanson, stop. Get off your knees. Stop praying.
Hey, I mean, like, the Book of Revelations was written by a dude having a bad trip.
Yeah, a bad trip to the acid mines.
I mean, yes.
So yeah, the Batman looks to be getting an HBO spinoff.
Boo! Boo!
Not a fan of the Batman?
Fuck Batman. Fuck Batman!
I like Batman, not this pretentious the Batman.
Oh.
He's the genuine article.
He's got a motorcycle.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway,
does he do tricks?
Yeah. What do you want from it? You want to ride the motorcycle?
Oh, I want to see Batman do tricks.
No, he don't. He like his tricks are like running over a bad guy with it.
What else?
That's pretty much it.
Lame.
Yeah. Yeah, so it looks like HBO Max picked up a new series about the police in Gotham City that will tie into the upcoming The Batman film.
Cops?
That's right. Cops in Gotham City, which means they're almost assured to be corrupt.
And racist.
Yeah, so, that's the one thing they probably got right. It's going to, quote unquote, build upon the film's examination of the anatomy of corruption in Gotham City, and will further explore the myriad complex characters of Gotham. So it sounds like it's a show that's going to be like, Gotham City's the character, man.
So it's like The Wire.
Yeah, sure. If Batman were like floating around.
Like, imagine... Like, just imagine the kids are sitting on the couch and Batman shows up and just beats them up.
McNulty, this is not how we do business. Could you imagine how hard Bunk would roll his eyes if he saw Batman?
like he's investigating the scene and then Batman shows up.
He's just like, he's like, fuck.
He's like, Bunk, I've got some information that might be useful to you. He's just like, oh,
shit. Oh, and then do you ever think about how the Punisher would like kill most of the cast of The Wire, including the kids?
Yeah. I've
never thought about that, actually.
That's no good.
Like everyone on the couch, just dead.
Do you think Omar would be able to get away?
No.
I feel like...
Yeah, is the Punisher that brutal? Like, he just kills, like, whoever does a crime?
Yeah, the Punisher kills, jaywalkers.
Why do you think cops love him so much?
I don't know.
The Punisher's not the hero.
Yeah, he has a very sort of simple mindset, and also is most likely psychotic.
He's insane in the membrane.
He doesn't seem too healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's a very healthy take to, when your family is murdered by criminals, decide that all criminals must die, regardless of nuance. So yeah, as for this show, it looks like it's going to be like dealing with like the city of Gotham while Batman's like doing other stuff. So I guess it could be fun, but like this feels like a way for them to be like, get HBO Max now for maximum Batman content.
Well, we need more Batman.
Yeah.
I think there's enough Batman out there.
No, we need
Stare,
more.
Listen, Stare, you dressing up as Batman just is it really doing it for me anymore? I need the real deal.
Criminals are a cowardly and superstitious lot.
Especially since you've sort of let yourself go, and the costume doesn't really fit as well now.
Listen, time waits for no man.
The bat nipples are a little saggy now, and I'm a little...
Oh,
It's a little.
oh, I was okay with you calling me fat. I was okay with you making fun of my gut, but
That's where you drew the line. Was
yes.
oh. I mean, I'm not saying like I don't like it. It's just that the bat suit doesn't help it. But yeah, it looks like Crime Alley will wait for nobody, or something.
You have to tune out on that show.
Oh,
Yes.
tuning out already. All right,
Yeah.
that's it for the news.
That's right.
So now it's time for a segment near and dear to everybody's hearts. It's Trailer Blazers. Hit the theme, Kyorain.
Trailer Blazer.
Oh, good theme. Yeah, welcome to Trailer Blazers, where we talk about the latest and greatest in trailers. And this week we've got a doozy. Yeah, it's hey guys, you guys like Star Trek?
No.
Oh, you don't? You
No.
don't like Star Trek? Big.
Not particularly.
Not anymore after this.
You guys look at Star Trek and you're like, bleh. Okay, well, what if Star Trek was like Rick and Morty?
That was not me busting. That was me dying.
It's me, Captain. I'm Pickle. Insert name.
So let's break this down. When you think of Star Trek, what comes to mind?
I'm thinking like guys exploring the unknown, and then like people's heads exploding from like a god being
Yeah, I think of like
annoyed at them.
people pursuing like the greater good. Usually,
Yeah, I think of like a hopeful, mostly optimistic view of the far future, right?
Yeah. What would you say the Star Trek brand is now, though?
Half of it is like
Desperation.
half of it is like, hey, remember Data? I remember Data. Now we have Data in a drawer.
Data drawer, yeah.
And the other half is this, where they take Star Trek and just say, hey, one of the guys from Rick and Morty, you do sci-fi stuff, right? We got the show for you. Why don't you make Star Trek into a wacky comedy where every character is trying to be funny the entire time?
Now, would it shock you to learn that one of the writers from Rick and Morty is producing this show?
No.
Okay. Would you say that's the least shocking thing about this trailer?
Yes.
Yeah, this is my problem, though, is that with this, it's called Star Trek Lower Decks. We didn't really say the name yet. And it's going to be like a wacky animated comedy about like taking the piss out of Star Trek. The problem is, I guess twofold, which is one, it might be easier to do this show if there was like a definitive Star Trek thing on the air right now that like felt like Star Trek. Picard doesn't feel like Star Trek. It feels like lazy retread of stuff that you loved from the Next Generation. And Discovery feels like a show that like misses the entire point of Star Trek more often than not. So this just feels like another failed attempt at like relevancy for the brand.
This feels like a pretty rote, generic sci-fi comedy.
Yes. Yeah,
that just has Star Trek stamped on it.
This should be like a live-action workplace comedy if they really want to stand out. Like, you remember that Cops parody, the Star Wars fan film Troopers?
Yeah.
I'm thinking of something like that.
Yeah, that's the second thing here is that, like, if you were going to go ahead and do that, even despite the other shows on the air not really matching what you need for this to be a success, at least, like, try and have some jokes in there. There was, like...
Yeah, I think there are jokes.
I mean, this
kind
has
of a
jokes,
little bit annoying.
But the problem is, and this is a trap I keep seeing writers fall into, comedy writers particularly, is that they're making a comedy, right? So what do all the characters need to be?
Wacky.
They need to be wacky, they need to be funny, they need to be making jokes every second of every minute of every hour of every day of every week.
Listen,
of every second of
every second that a joke is not being
hour.
told is a second that no one is laughing.
Yeah, and it has to be like people acting funny, not just being in a funny situation or reacting to hilarious circumstances, or maybe even a little bit of dramatic irony for the audience. No, it had to be characters just being weird and off the wall. And isn't this crazy that we're in Star Trek and they're acting like this?
Yeah, it's
we're in space,
man.
folks. This is crazy.
So, I just noticed one of the guys in the thumbnails for this trailer has a Dragon Ball Z scouter.
Yeah, they have those, I think,
Yeah.
in Star Trek.
Why? They don't have power levels to measure.
They have tons of other shit to measure.
Oh, I guess that's true.
Like a ship.
Captain, how much does that ship weigh?
1,500
What
kilos.
would it look like?
Over 9 billion tons.
They're plugging in the scouter so they can simulate what it would look like to see 40 Wesleys eating pies.
I also dislike that the only thing they could come up with for Alien in an animated show was green.
Well, that's a joke. There's green-skinned alien women on Star Trek.
You're an animated show. Come up with something better.
Well, that wouldn't be the joke.
But yeah, this looks...
Is that a joke?
Well, it qualifies as one in this trailer. That's the joke, is that like, or that's the trailer pretty much, is just like, that's a joke, see, based on Star Trek. I feel like another big problem is that like it's super, super hard to parody the Thing when you are the Thing.
When you're a part of the official brand, yes.
Like, it would be the equivalent, like, if this were, it would be the equivalent of watching this, but with Star Wars. Where I would be like, I don't think this works.
That's the amazing thing, because you did get those Robot Chicken and the Family Guy Star Wars things, which were, George Lucas was just like, yeah, do whatever.
Yeah, because they weren't canon.
And then
I guess this isn't either, but who knows? Star Trek canon is all over the place.
So, wait, is that Rick and Morty guy working on both this show and the Solar Opposites show?
Or is this Dan Harmon?
This is not Dan Harmon. This is not Justin Roiland. It's just a writer from Rick and Morty.
So this is like the C tier.
That's right, yeah, because at least Justin Roiland is on Solar Opposites, which seems to prove that, like, maybe he needs a guy like Dan Harmon to help him out when he's making a good TV show, or at least a somewhat better TV show.
Oh, that's what the show was missing. It was missing Rick.
Yeah, it needed Rick to be there to be like, Star Trek's dumb!
Honestly, this would have been better with Rick in it.
Yeah, what kind of antics? Rick wouldn't need a ship full of people.
Commander. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
right.
he would be like begrudgingly doing it and talking down to everybody and saying he could run this by himself.
Yeah, I don't think Picard. I don't think any of the Star Trek captains would put up with him, though.
Oh,
They'd have to because he's like God, basically, though.
I want to come in here right now and say that I was wrong. The creator of Solar Opposites is also the creator of this show. So he worked with Justin Roiland to make Solar Opposites and was a writer on Rick and Morty.
That bodes well.
Yeah, so
It bodes well when you're just doing a bunch of different projects all at once.
that
right?
all look the same animation style wise.
Yeah.
And this kind of ties us into what we're watching this week, but not really. But like, is it just me, or when it's not part of like the original brand?
Yes, you already said that.
Does it feel weird when it's like a different style? Like when it's the same animation style, but it's in a different thing, does it just feel weird?
A little bit, yeah.
It feels weird, and also
It should have looked like the old animated series from the 70s.
That would have been fun. See, that would have been a nice, fun callback.
That would have been interesting.
In general, though, Star Trek didn't need this.
No.
As far as I know.
Yeah, it's...
Star Trek needs a nap.
Take a sleep. Come back when someone better is running the show. When someone has like a good
like George
idea.
Lucas.
Well, that's been Trailer Blazers. I think that's tune out on that one for now.
Yes. Set phasers to tune.
Out?
Presumably.
Well, it could be a tune in, too. Anyway, that's it for Trailer Blazers. So let's move on to our main event. This week we watched our...
It's all for Trailer Blazers.
That's it. That's it for Trailer Blazers. Say goodbye. Wave goodbye to Trailer Blazers.
Uh-huh. Bye-bye.
This week we watched our first HBO Max program. Regular show creators' new program, Close Enough. And we're here to talk about it.
And this one features nudity, allegedly.
According to whatever Stare found on the dark web.
Some guy on Twitter, yeah.
The dark corner of Twitter where this hashtag resides.
I'm not sure what the thoughts are going to be on this right away, but I'm going to preface this by saying that I was pretty looking forward to this because, you know, I was a fan of Regular Show. It was a good show, fun stuff. I was also a fan of his other previous work, Flapjack, which was also good stuff, if excessively bad to look at times.
I watched 2 episodes of Regular Show and liked it.
Yeah, see? Fan.
Yeah, I liked Regular Show. It wasn't anything like mind-blowing, but it was a fun show.
Yeah.
Wacky antics.
I think that's the general feel that you get from his programs is that, you know, you're not going to get anything mind-bending. It's not going to take you on an epic journey or change animation as you know it, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun time.
Yeah. So this program is Regular Show for adults. Regular Show for adults.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just like, what if Regular Show but adults?
Oh, I think I said the word shit.
Yeah, they can say the word
And
shit, and they can
orgasm.
have, like, sex and stuff,
And show nipples for a split second.
apparently.
Allegedly.
So anyway,
I saw some real fucked up stuff looking for the tweet of the week, fellas.
yeah. So what we get here is sort of a Cartoon Network-esque. Each half-hour episode contains 2 shorter episodes inside of it. So
Yes.
what we actually watched were 4 11-minute episodes.
Which filled me with incredible rage at Swanson and his callousness.
Callousness of making you watch the same amount that we watch every week.
Yeah, but it's 4 separate stories.
Yeah, your brain couldn't fit all of that into one
It
episode.
shouldn't have to.
I
Especially not for a cartoon.
mean, this is sort of how cartoons are made, usually.
Yes.
Anyway, the first episode we get is called Quilty Pleasures. And I think right off the bat I was a little thrown for a loop because they don't really do any setup or anything of who these people are. They just throw you right into it. Like, I thought
I guess they were just
I had to check and make sure that this
Yeah.
was the first episode.
Yes. I was like, I had a little bit of doubt after I was done watching. I was like, was that the first episode or not?
Yeah.
And it was.
So we get this.
I was very confused.
Yeah, it doesn't it also only really establishes the two parents. It doesn't really establish any of the other characters super well.
You know, there's the roommates, and they're just kind of like, oh yeah, they're here.
Yeah, they have
And
they have what
fuck.
you could call a subplot if you're being very generous. Because most of it happens off camera.
Oh, like something. The B plot happened, but it was never really addressed.
Yeah. So we open with this little opening gag here that has a near-death experience via thermostat. That's fun.
Oh, yeah. They almost got Final Destination 2.
Yeah. And that was a fun little gag there. And then we get the opening credits, which are also kind of fun. They also...
Reminds me of the opening... Reminds me of the opening to the Dilbert Show from the 90s.
Ooh. Is it tie up or tie down? You see the Dilbert creator would...
I guess tie up.
Yeah,
When he got laid,
the Dilbert
his
creator
tie went flat.
would draw Dilbert with his tie up to signify when he got laid.
Yes.
Is that official?
It's official
Yes!
from him. The Dilbert creator is also problematic. Anyway, so yeah, what we get is it's these 2 parents are going to school to pick up their child, and they're informed that she hasn't turned in her assignment for like the quilt project that they're doing for class.
And apparently schools in good districts have like hippie teachers who are too nice.
Yeah, that seems to be a recurring gag that I've seen a couple times before. So that's something, huh? It is weird that these people who don't seem to have jobs that we know of are able to afford a good school for their kid, though.
No, they could afford to live in a nicer area by taking in weird roommates.
I guess that,
And
yeah.
it's public. It's public school still, though. I think.
Yeah, that's probably true. So what ends up happening is they go to the lesser, so it's like the strip district of their town, the like market district, and look around and try to look for something that someone that can help them, like something that can look like a sewing project was done, because they don't want to do the work. I mean, why would you? There's just like we're thrown right into it. They're going all about doing all this weird stuff, having fun. One of them gets a pet that's a bird. He calls it Bird Josh because I guess it's like him.
His name is Josh.
I had a similar problem with this show that I had with Solar Opposites, where the creator was voicing the main character again.
Yeah.
So this guy's Mordecai, but Rigby's not there. It's like distracting.
It was very distracting for me to be like, because I never realized that the voice of Mordecai was also the guy who made the show.
Yeah.
So
what if the wife had been voiced by Rigby doing falsetto?
It would have been good. It would have been funny.
That would also be distracting.
Oh, no, I would have been fine with it. But yeah, so we don't get a whole lot here with the other two characters who aren't the parents. It's just sort of them hanging out and getting into antics with these sewing orphans. They find these British children who are like, well, supposed children who are like, yeah, we'll sew this for you, but you've got to be our parents. And they're like,
yeah, this show literally has the same formula as regular show, except
yes, this is regular show.
Yeah, it's pretty much just regular show for adults.
Yeah, where, it starts off as a normal, everyday situation, but then something crazy happens, and it could be supernatural, but in this case, it's just weird.
Yeah. And much like a regular show, it's revealed that these are not actual orphans. They're like some sort of supernatural creatures that age.
No, they're just old. They're just old short people.
They're old short people who are like trying to capture them and like make them their parents forever.
Yeah, they're homeless.
And they just couldn't see how old they were because I guess it was dark. I
guess.
guess.
What I don't like is that they also go back on them being British as well. I feel like that you shouldn't have reversed that.
They should have just been old British people.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense. There's also a song that happens here, and I don't know why that song happened other than because
it's a pilot.
You gotta have a song. But yeah, these very responsible parents also have sex in an alleyway and sleep there. I guess while they're waiting for the quilt to be done, I don't know.
They're not responsible people.
But they sleep under the quilt.
Oh yeah, why don't they just go home with the quilt?
They were just so turned on by their victory there that they had to have sex right there.
Yeah. But yeah, the responsible part was sarcasm. These are not responsible people, which is kind of, I think, the point they're going for. But
because they're Rigby and Mordecai.
If they had become 30-year-olds instead of 20-year-olds, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And we're no longer like animals.
Yeah, and we're all one of them changed genders.
Yeah.
Apparently, one of the episodes when one of the characters does acid, you can see Mordecai on the acid strips.
That's cool.
Interesting.
So, what this first episode teaches me with the ending here is that you never make deals with the British.
Yes.
And yeah, so they have to fight off these British babies, homeless people.
Yeah, it's just like a regular show.
Yeah, and then they drive away and make it home in time for the B plot to get quote unquote wrapped up.
Oh yes, I completely forgot what the B plot was and was just pretending to know what you were talking about, but now I remember.
Yeah, the B plot was that the other two characters, one played by Jason Mantzoukas, are watching the child, but they're only there for like maybe a minute of screen time before
Jason.
We also get introduced to the landlord and her son, I guess, for a brief moment.
Very bold.
Did you?
Very bold of this. Very bold of them to make a sympathetic landlord character when 5 million Americans are going to be evicted over the next 2 months.
Did you say she's sympathetic just because she's there?
She's kind of cool. She's got a van.
She's also a cop. She's a retired cop.
Oh,
Anyway, her son is...
She's nice.
That's something I want. That's something I want to get into.
Yeah?
Maybe at the end of this, about how 2020 is probably the worst historical moment to put this show out.
Why is that?
I mean, because these family sitcoms, they kind of presuppose a stability for Americans that isn't quite guaranteed right now.
Yeah, I don't know if...
There's a lot of precariousness.
I don't know if I'm watching this show thinking about how fun a family would be, though. I'm watching this show because of the weird antics they get up to, right? Like regular show, but with kids.
Yes.
So, are you proposing that every show that comes out this year should never feature a stable...
I think every show
why.
that comes out this year should be like Mad Max. Or Fist of the North Star.
And they should redo all of the ones that they've already had, which they can't do.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the situation you mentioned.
And I think some people might just want to watch TV to, like, I don't know, forget about
Escape.
what's happening around the...
Like, maybe the
that
idea
sounds
of
unhealthy.
stability would be helpful in a time of instability. And therefore, watching something like this could be like sort of an escape.
Especially
That's
in the
just escapism.
especially
That's
in
not
the comfort,
reality.
Yeah, that's a fiction for
Yeah, that's
you.
why it's a cartoon.
Especially
Can't you see it's not healthy?
it's especially comforting to see these goofballs, these wacky, irresponsible people managing to live their lives happily. It's pretty. It's nice.
Also, Stairmaster might like to know that the son of the landlord lady is played by James Adomian.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Name's Anomian.
That's right. So yeah, that first episode kind of just ends with them going there, and they find out that she made her own quilt anyway. It's them all naked, and I guess the teacher's like cool with it. Pretty progressive teacher.
Yeah, it's art.
Yeah, it's art. It's fine. And there's like a little like stereotypical sitcom gag where he's like, most parents just do their own, just make their own, but you guys did it the right way, and they're like, haha, we did. So then the second episode in this second part of the first episode we watched here is called The Perfect House. And it's pretty much just too many cooks.
Yes.
Yeah, what we learn in this first half here of this episode is that house showings are incredibly hot. They do this little opening bit here where it feels like a 90s video where like a hot lady would be walking down the street and like all the dudes are like taking off their glasses to look. But it's actually just they're looking at houses for sale. That's fine. That's a pretty funny gag. So yeah, they have to go to a house showing because the wife won a bet. Emily is her name, and it's pretty clear that this is like some sort of escape from her normal everyday life. But
yeah, Jason Mantzoukas' character is completely fucked up.
yeah, he's got like a cork board. His entire living room has become like a Memento-esque memory board.
Yeah, he's basically portraying me in a couple of years from now.
Yeah, after you've...
Yes, don't you appreciate the gritty realism of these people who are in their 30s accepting that they will never own a home?
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, the Jason Mantzoukas character is pretty much playing Stairmaster after he's watched all of Unsolved Mysteries. I think his character is called Alex, and his ex-wife is named Bridget, which they don't get into until I think the next episode, really, that they're divorced. But they mention it offhand, I think. And she's in the kitchen making art paintings with her body because he's taking up the living room, so she's got to find somewhere to do her work. And so there's no room in the house for anyone to like unwind. So she suggests like getting out and doing something. Meanwhile, Josh, her husband, wants to buy a family bike based off of a memory from his childhood, of which he always wanted one, but didn't have a family, I guess. They don't really expand on why he didn't have a family. It's just he was riding a bike by himself.
How sad.
And that's where you get the classic line, "Where's your family, loser?"
Yeah. Which recurs in two separate moments in this episode. I always love when you can find a way to do a classic recurring bit in 11 minutes. That's true comedy right there.
That's artistry.
Yeah. So yeah, the Emily goes to the house showing by herself and meets two other people who pretend to be her family, and it quickly devolves into a sitcom scenario where they get trapped inside the house.
They literally get a Full House parody.
Yeah, it's like Too Many Cooks, only it's, I guess, revealed that it's her subconscious, so it's somewhat better.
I'm not sure what's going on here.
Well, the ending credits state that it's Emily and then the other two's subconscious, that the creators of the show.
But it seems like they are legitimately separated from reality.
Well, until she comes out, and then she comes outside, and there's like news vans and shit that we can hear in the background. Which begs more questions than answers, but...
Because this is basically a regular show. Who knows what happened here?
Yeah, much like at the end of an episode of a regular show, you're not sure where reality broke and where it snapped back into existence.
Yeah, things are just back to normal, and there's no more questions to be asked or answered.
Yeah. The only thing that's really missing from this show, as opposed to like regular Ghost, is a character that's sort of like a high five ghost type of deal. I need that wacky random character that shows up and doesn't really do anything other than the one thing that it's named for.
Maybe later.
Yeah, I don't know. This seems to be slightly more grounded in terms of character design and like existences.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, she needs Josh's help to get out of the sitcom, but he has to pedal the family bike by himself.
Apparently it's quite difficult because you need a whole family's power to get it going.
And he doesn't have the power of a whole family. He only has the power of one Josh.
And that's not impressive.
No, not impressive at all. So he gets in there. He gets trapped in there as well. And then they realize that they can't fight against the sitcom trope. They have to play with it. We also get shots of like an existential or like some sort of like cosmic like studio audience that's like watching from the void.
Yes. Which is why I find it hard to believe this is all just a psychic hallucination.
That they're all happening to share and don't want to, and she doesn't want to be a part of it.
Yeah. Yes.
So she comes clean that this is like her way of escaping sometimes, and that she knows that she doesn't want to be trapped inside a sitcom, but that's
she has a real family to go home to.
Okay, so this is like the one that suffers the most from the 11-minute format. I think they could have played with this a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure. I think this one is one that would have been a lot more fun, like as a full episode.
Yeah, the other ones fit the 11 minutes, but this one.
And also, now I'll wait till we get to the end. But yeah, so she manages to leave, but her fake husband Dave doesn't want to deal with his kids, so he closes the door and stays there. Classic Dave.
Yeah, that reminds me a bit. It seemed a bit more like Midnight Gospel when his wife showed up with the 3 kids making these weird noises.
That was a bit that I could see being in Midnight Gospel, yeah.
Yes.
And then that's it for that first episode there. And we get to this second episode, which, spoilers, I liked more.
Oh,
no?
Oh, no, I'm just, you having an opinion.
Oh, yeah.
Opinions are shocking on this podcast. Usually we only talk facts here.
So, this second episode, the first part of the second episode is called Logan's Run. If that didn't give away what this deal is. Basically, the Bridget, the hip one of the quartet, as it were, decides to go out to a nightclub, and she pretty much shames all of them into going with her because they don't want to feel old. So they all go to this new nightclub called Logan's, which I didn't immediately get what they were going for because I didn't see the name of this episode.
Same.
So when I found out what they were doing, I liked it. It was good. So this is, I think, this episode is a better showcase for the other two characters. And it's also got perhaps my favorite gag of the 4, where it turns out that Bridget is just hitting on a literal baby.
On stilts.
Yeah, it's just,
who has the voice of like a 30-year-old African American.
It's just a good gag.
Yeah.
I'm 26
months.
I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, it's just,
that's like something they do on Half-Life VR.
it's just a good gag.
Yeah, just reality falling apart right before your very eyes.
But also the gag of someone coming in, showing his ID, and then immediately being sent into a fan to die is
Also
pretty good.
Yeah, also something you'd see in Half-Life VR.
Um,
Look how strong I am, Gordon. Yeah. Beep, beep, beep.
Oh my god, he's dead! And then 2 seconds later, hello, Gordon.
Yeah.
yeah, I liked that they didn't they weren't oblivious to it. Like the moment that guy died, they were like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, at that moment, that's when I realized this was just a regular show.
Yeah.
If Mordecai and Rigby fucked.
And what we get here, I think another reason I like this one is that we get a lot of Jason Mantzoukas ranting. He gets this whole blockbuster rant, which is fun.
And wants to die, just like me.
Until he realizes that he could look like George Clooney, potentially. He won't.
I won't.
And decides that, it's worth living. Basically, the whole moral of this episode here is that, like, getting old can be, its own sort of reward.
I'm not sure about that.
Wow, thanks.
It's almost like you have to just accept how life is going to happen to you, whether you want it to or not.
Yeah,
life comes at you fast.
This is the episode where you know for a fact that this is regular show for adults.
Yes. And you know what? I'm at this point, I was fine with it.
Yeah.
Oh, spoilers. I guess we don't have to do the rest of the recap now.
Who knows? Maybe I'm not fine with it with the last episode stare.
Oh. Unlikely.
But yeah, this was, I think, my favorite of the 4 mini episodes we get here. Just because it had the best joke ratio going for it. The concept was fun. It's revealed at the end that the owner of the club / bartender is actually an old dude. To quote Jason Mantzoukas, "This guy's pushing 50." And he rips off his hair, and they all what do the people do? Just murder this guy, I guess.
Yes, they just murder him.
And it also ends with a great Mantzoukas line where they're all hanging out eating pancakes, and he's like, "We just watched some people get murdered," and they just end.
And also, the pancakes aren't as good as they used to taste.
Yeah, that's what happens when you get older. Sometimes
they're old, so they're too sweet now.
That's really sad.
Sometimes the Chips Ahoy aren't as filling. Sometimes you don't want Pop-Tarts anymore.
I don't want Pop-Tarts anymore. I haven't had any since Trump got elected.
Wow. You voted out Pop-Tarts.
Well, let me ask you this. Were you eating Pop-Tarts on the day?
No.
On that fated day?
He was sitting he was sitting next to the TV, chopping down on some brown sugar and cinnamon Pop-Tarts when he got the results in.
Oh my god, I would have just left those Pop-Tarts half finished. I was so distraught that night.
We all were. I don't know if we've ever talked about it on the pod, but we were in a call together watching the results come in and just what?
That needle!
Yeah, we were just breaking down. I was talking about moving to California or
we both were, I think.
Forming a militia in the mountains, yeah. Because we thought California was going to succeed.
Oh, man. That would have been its own problems.
Yeah. And now this November is going to be even more fucked up, but I'm just resigned to death.
Wow. It sounds like you took the opposite lesson from the Logan's Run episode.
No, I'm chill with it.
Oh, okay. I guess that's fine. Mm-hmm. All right. So we get to this last episode here. It's called Room Parents. And by this point, I started to realize that all of these episodes have some sort of basic formula that they're playing with.
Oh.
Which Keo had already mentioned, but it's also a very clear at the halfway point of the episode, it devolves into murder and chaos, which is true of most episodes of a regular show. So yeah, we get this opening here where no one wants to do the fundraiser, which I can't relate, but I would imagine I would also not want to do a fundraiser. That sounds bad.
I really enjoyed the guy committing seppuku and his wife beheading him with the classroom ruler.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, Stair, when I saw that, I was like, oh, Stair's gonna love this part.
Was that your moment of the show, Stare?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Tweet of the week.
So yeah,
He literally committed seppuku because he didn't want to do a fundraiser or even go near the idea of having to do it at all.
For some reason, they didn't consider just murdering the teacher.
No, that would be illegal.
I'm sure he knows martial arts or something.
Yeah. Seppuku is it's fine because you're dead. There's nothing they can do about it. So yeah, Josh walks out from the bathroom and is like, "Oh yeah, sure, I'll do that." And immediately the murders cease. But his wife is not happy. And he catches the attention of another lady who is all like, "You're very cute and handsome, and we should bone sometime." She's making it very obvious that she's trying to flirt with him. And he's like, I guess it's just oblivious to it because he just thinks she likes fundraisers. And so they like talk a lot, and Emily starts to get weird and jealous. And he's like, "All right, well, I'm gonna go hang out with her real quick because we're gonna do fundraising stuff." She told me to wash my balls. So strange.
So random. I think is what he said.
Yes.
And then we get a fun little. So the landlord helps her use her spy equipment, presumably from when she was a cop, to spy on Josh as they're going around. And this leads to one of my favorite gags, which is that she sees in her binoculars what looks to be them having sex, but then she looks up and it's fuck shirts, which is a guy on the boardwalk who just draws shirts of you having sex.
I would buy
which
one.
is just such a funny gag to me.
Hey,
what
kid,
about
wanna get a fuck shirt of us?
What about them going into a hotel called the Sex Hotel, but actually it's called the Sussex Hotel, but actually it's called the Sussex Hotel to have an affair in?
It's also a very good bit.
Yes.
Yeah, like I said, the second episode is much stronger. She goes back home and like accuses him of cheating on her, and he's like, "What? No, I would never do that." And she's like, "Well, she's clearly into you, so you gotta like call this fundraising thing off." So they go to do that, and it turns out she's a murderer who's like a con man of some sort. And she tries to...
I don't think she murders everyone. I think that's just she got outed, so she had to resort to murder.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess she was planning on murdering them. She makes her...
No, she was... I don't know if she was planning on murdering them, just ditching them.
She says she had a pie that they would die for. But I guess that was after after they called it off, so...
Yeah, either way, though...
Sex with him, though.
She's running a strange scam where she steals school donations.
Yeah, they mentioned that like it can't be that much money, and she's like, "It's about the volume."
Yeah, she's actually running a separate scheme at the same time, off screen. And we cut to that, the third act of this episode.
So
we'll
she goes to steal all of the fundraiser money from people, and there's like a train getaway where it's a very slow train, which is another very regular show gag.
It's like that episode of The Simpsons where Reverend Lovejoy saves Ned Flanders from the monkeys.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And it has a lever that goes from safe to, what was
Unsafe.
it? Unsafe.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the conductor gets thrown off, and he rolls, and when he comes so hard, he explodes, and the water tower next to him crumbles, and that whole shot is like 10 seconds.
It's great. So yeah, they get this little train getaway. They manage to save the fundraising money, and Josh gets named room parent for life.
And the episode ends right then and there.
And that's pretty much it for that episode and for what we watched this week. What are your final thoughts on this show?
I think that this is exactly what I was expecting, and that's actually not a bad thing.
No.
Yeah, I think
this is definitely the best animated program we've seen this year, I think.
Yeah, I think this is kind of what I wanted, right? Like I said, I'm predisposed to liking it because I've liked his other works, and this is just like those other works, and I'm fine with that.
There were a couple of distracting things about it, like I mentioned. Having the creator voice the main character was like, all right, yeah, that's Mordecai, but I'll get over it.
And I think, the other characters could use some juicing because I don't know. I can't remember if it took regular show like that long to figure out their other characters, but like it's pretty much just they're all pretty much just sort of one note at the moment. But I'm sure that's something they could, maneuver around.
Mm-hmm. They're pretty much one note in regular show.
Yeah, but like in later seasons they start to feign at giving them dimensions.
Yeah, true.
And I think the reason that this works in a way that like a show like Solar Opposites doesn't is, I think because the level of insanity that they're working on all of the episodes seems to like stay the same. Also, they're not doing things that like question. Like in Solar Opposites, they would do things that would, and then return the status quo to like a normal. There is no like normal status quo episode to episode in this, so I feel like it works a little better. Like,
and also shows like Solar Opposites get too excited about being, quote unquote uncensored.
Yeah, this is a show where like there's weird stuff happening, like people are getting sacrificed to fans, and like people are committing seppuku, but like the violence isn't like grotesque or like. They're not bathing in the blood of the people dying.
Yeah, they don't linger on it, and they don't use it when it's not needed. Like, for example, they could have had that guy rolling into the water tower explode into, bloody gobs, and his intestines landed on the side of the train, but that wouldn't have been funny, so they didn't do that.
Yeah, we're just happy we didn't have to watch more Solar Opposites.
That's probably really why, yeah. But at the end of the day, give this a tune in.
That's my greatest fear. Yeah, tune in for me as well.
I'm going to give it a tune out because when I was searching for the tweet of the week, I found out people are already drawing pornography of the show.
I don't know why you're surprised about that. This show's been out for like a week.
Oh, never mind that. Tune in.
Okay. Well, that's a tune in for Close Enough. And that's about it for this week's episode of the show. We'll be back next week with more TV goodness. Until then, keep watching. Bye. It's over.
I found him.
Hey folks, it's time for the TV Tuners Fact of the Week. Did you know that Stairmaster once starred in a sitcom for 25 years?
That's right. It was known as Cheers.